learned from the lesson. Live in the hills, but I still get a spread. Started with a little, but I still reinvest it. Feel how I feel, then you feel it's a blessing. I just want the lesson, I just want protection. I'm up and I'm down, but they sound like progression. Farmer never plans if he waits for perfection. Finger to the down.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, today was crazy. Crazy meaning we didn't move at all. Actually, zero. So anyways, you can argue that good news was bad. Stop!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you had a wonderful day. Yeah, she tried to beat me for a day. It did not work out, but you know, if you didn't think that was stupid, I got something that you're going to think is more stupid. Today, we learned that the narrative is changing. So I have this in the keys, but I just want to start with this to open because it's pretty wild. After what we got today and how people are talking, is inflation data going to be important? Yes. Is recession data going to be important? Yes. Is it going to be the most important thing? Probably not for the next couple of weeks. So you got to bear with me because all of that data is still key and we got a lot of information. But what we got here today, people are already talking about it. Earnings is going to be the next deciding factor. So let me show you a pretty picture here and this will help you understand some of the craziness. This chart is showing you the average analyst consensus or recommendation on stocks. Again, it's showing you a weird number, but pretty much this is a scale of 1 to 5, and 5 means buy. So what you're looking at right here, right now, average analyst expectations are at a 4, meaning, yeah, everyone's like, buy, 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 buy. So what is this telling you? It means that there has not been a lot of revisions since the last earnings, and now people are bringing this up as the main thing. So we got a lot to talk about. I'm going to go over what this means. I'm going to go over the other narrative that we got today. If you did not hear about quarter rebalancing, you're going to want to stick around, and then we're going to talk about what we had happen today and how it ties into the broader with what we saw last week, because what we got with the Fed futures, it is still there, and I got something to show you. So we got a lot to cover. I got plays too. I have all that. We're going to go over it. So make sure you're subscribed. You're on mobile. Press high chat. I forgot what I was going to say. 30 minutes before open. We'll see you there again on this channel or youtube.com/the. I don't know where I'm going with it now. I already messed up, but right off the bat, let's get into the keys. The first thing, today wasn't that bad, but it was very confusing because good news was bad news, you can argue. So take a look here at the daily chart right here at 9:30. This was pre-market and we were actually up, and then durable goods orders came in and they were good data. However, we started dropping. Then 30 minutes later, you could see this nice little pop and drop right there. I tried to do my John Madden, but that was pending home sales, and that one shocked people. It was expected to come in negative and it ended up coming in positive. So that one was good data. We had a little pop and then came down, and then finally, right where the bounce started, this came off of awful data from the Dallas Fed, and it pretty much showed like the biggest miss since either 2020 or even going back to like 2015. But it was very bad data. It was bad news, and then finally the market started going up with it. So today was definitely a day about good news being bad news, and if you don't understand why, please, I'm begging you, just go watch the latest video on this channel. It's called Why a Recession is Good. And this is the logic and the narrative that the market has been going over the last few days. But this is what I'm going to bring up right now so you can understand it. This will follow up. So if you haven't watched the video, go watch it. If you have watched it, here is another visual to let you see what happened today. Because like I'm telling you, earnings is right around the corner. Estimates have not been guided down, and people are really starting to focus on what's going to happen there. But now the question is, all right, well, what do we do with recession data, inflation data? Look at the Fed futures. So this is the chart that I've been trying to show you guys, and this is what explains it in the video. But this right here is the upcoming month of the Fed futures chart. It's very simple to read. If this chart goes down, that means the odds of a higher rate hike are increasing. That goes down, that means they're going to cut more. If the chart goes up, that means the odds of another rate hike are decreasing. So pretty much right here for July, you can see it really hasn't moved. It's already at the bottom. Most people, they know very well we're probably going to do 0.75 unless the data shows us otherwise. So that's the chart for this month. But now this is all from today. Let's take a look here at November. What do you notice? It's the same exact chart, but now it's slightly tilting upward. So what does upward means? Rate hike odds are dropping when this chart goes up. So this is for the November deadline or the November meeting. That is already showing odds are kind of decreasing a little bit. And now go to January and coming into 2023, you'll notice that chart is actually bouncing up a lot more. So what does this mean and what is it showing? One, you're going to have to keep watching this because like we're saying, as these narratives start to juggle around, this is still a big key, but this is telling us that short-term rate hike expectations, they are pretty much the same. And now whatever happens with earnings, the data, or anything else in between, that is going to start affecting the longer end of the curve. This is where recession becomes good because people are looking at the longer dated Fed futures and watching their probabilities come down as we react to certain things. And that is the main point that I'm trying to show you right here. To observe and interpret the data as it comes in, pay attention to the short end and the long end of the Fed futures curve, and you can get an idea of how the market is digesting it. So that's why today was interesting, because you could see the odds on the longer end, they started to lower a little bit, but they actually were chilling out in the morning and then flipped again. Every single data set is moving the Fed futures, but this is the big key at hand right now. So that is the first key. The second key we got to talk about now is rebalancing. This is part of the question now. So you probably heard it. This is probably going to be the new narrative, but we've been going off momentum, everything else. Everybody woke up today. They're saying, yeah, let's see what happens with the data. Things opened up good, but now people are talking, well, if there is going to be a bullish rally, we do have the end of the quarter rebalancing. Pretty much what this is meaning is that as we are entering the end of the quarter, people are going to move around a lot of positions. Some people are saying this could explain the XLV, the healthcare, the utilities, and all of that. Or if we were going to get a bounce, maybe now as we get into the end of one quarter and the beginning of another, assuming the Fed futures and other stuff doesn't go crazy, maybe this could provide the fuel for the bounce. But the interesting part about this narrative, it doesn't really have a direction. Pretty much what I'm trying to tell you, you're going to hear about this a lot, and we will be in store for some bigger moves as some bigger funds, pensions, and all that need a rebalance. But now people are saying this could be a bullish catalyst, but now even on the downside, as people have to rebalance and move things around, it's going to be interesting. There was a lot of talk today on the put skew, the VIX, and everything, but what they're saying is that now, although a lot of people might not move, it's going to be interesting to see the short side because there's just simply not enough meat on the bone as there was when the market was earlier. So it's kind of putting us in this weird middle till we see how people rebalance or the Fed and everything else becomes more clearer. So that was the second thing. That was the main thing. Finally, this is what we opened up with. Again, you got to watch out for the data tomorrow. You're going to get like trade balance, wholesale inventories, retail inventories, core logic prices for real estate, FA prices for real estate, the Board of Consumer Confidence, consumer expectations, and the present situation, and the Richmond Fed. That's 9 data releases all tomorrow from 8:30 up until 10, and that is on Eastern time. So we're going to see how it plays out. Again, the PCE is going to be the most important one out of all of these. So tomorrow we'll just see how it plays out. But then as we start getting into Wednesday, Thursday, that's when you should be getting more data. But now this is what I want to tell you, because you watch companies like Nike today, you got a bunch of other things happening, but it's very, very simple. With all of this data happening, it's going to move some things, but now earnings is the biggest focus. Literally, that will be the biggest mover. Again, I already told you what people are expecting in this analyst thing, but I think it's pretty clear here. We're getting back and forth. Good news is bad news. Bad news is good news. We're going to play a lot of game of back and forth because remember, a lot of data is also lagging. So 2 out of 3 of the data sets today, pending home sales and durable goods, those are from May. Wow, the Dallas Fed, that one's actually for June. But point is, you're going to watch this big back and forth, but what is going to cause a sustained rally or another move down the lows? It's going to be a surpriser in those earnings and things getting clapped. And well, people are going to start talking about it very soon. So I hope you're ready. But that is pretty much it. So let us get into the plays. So, right off the bat, I got 3 different plays. I like all of them. This first one, I made this in the morning, and honestly, I just like it. I was even eyeing it a little bit last week. I'm so glad that I waited because even though it went down a little bit, the premiums were a lot cheaper even in the morning. But first play is going to be Boeing. They had a ton of bad news here in the morning. It was like other orders from Airbus getting completed, and then they were talking a couple of articles on the 777 flight flights since it's came back into rotation, and they're saying there's been like 50 problems or something like that, but pretty much a lot of people are now assuming that there may be another probe into the re-release of the 777, or at least what Boeing has been doing. So that brought the stock lower. I grabbed a July 15th 105 put. I grabbed one of them for 38 cents, kept it small further out the money. Depending on how this play plays out, I may be willing to add bigger, but I thought this was a good place to start. We'll see where it takes us this week, but they definitely got news, and there was definitely a reaction this morning, so watch out for them. That's the first one. The second one, Morgan Stanley. So I bought JP Morgan today for the long term. I grabbed 40 shares on the big account, 2 on each of the small ones, around like 116.50 or like 45. That was the price there, but there was news after hours that affected the banks. It was related to the stress test. JP Morgan actually ended up going down a little bit. They said they're keeping their dividend the same, but now Morgan Stanley, this one, I think it's going to be a good one tomorrow. They raised their dividend and they raised the amount that they're going to be buying back. Pretty hyped there. I do think the move might be over in the morning. Again, it's moved up a lot recently, so we'll see where it gaps up and if it has any sort of continuation, but I like it. I think it could be good. They've been a big leader. If things continue, this one could be a good one, but overall, just watch all the other banks. Again, Bank of America had news, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, and all of them are kind of responding. I think the worst one was JP Morgan, where it only dropped a little bit, but then pretty much kind of held. But bank stocks in that news, especially Morgan Stanley tomorrow, that one is going to be fire. And then finally, Hood, baby. This is number 3. So there was news back and forth. Again, we put out this stream alert very early in the day. Yeah, it was 6:58, 20 minutes after the market opened. We put this out. We said Hood buyer rumors on Twitter. I wasn't able to confirm it. Again, whether you've been on stream or you're familiar with the stream alerts, this is something we talk about a lot. Again, a lot of things happen. We try to get you guys the first result of it, but you're not able to confirm things all the time. But pretty much that rumor came out in the morning. People were a little bit excited. Then later in the day, there was an exclusive Bloomberg report. I even contacted the reporters. We were able to verify it was new information. They said someone at the company said that FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried is internally looking to buy out the company. People got hyped up on it, shot up 17%, but then after hours, FTX said there is no active talks taking place, but it seems like they're excited. So pretty much this is what I said all day on stream. I was like, well, I don't know if this is positive or negative. They're saying there's no official deal, but they're excited about a partnership and what could happen. So I would watch out for this. It's going to move a lot, but pretty much what I'm trying to tell you, I think this is going to be a delayed news play. I think we should be able to react anytime in the next week, maybe even a month if they do jump on it. I think the premium and hype will die down, then out of nowhere, we'll get the formal announcement and go from there. Pretty much, if he really wants to buy the company, he's probably going to act a little different than Elon. It would make sense why we're hearing about it, but they're kind of saying, no, there's nothing real active right now because he already bought 8%, and the last thing they want to do is drive the price up 20% on a couple $1 billion market cap. I mean, you do the math. So I really like Robinhood here. I think it'll be a good one to watch. I think timing will be difficult, but you definitely got a little bit of an opportunity brewing here. So keep your eye out for that. But as far as everything else, those were the main plays. I did make a play on Baba. I accidentally got filled on 2. I thought I got 1. I grabbed the July 15th, 155 calls at like 58 cents. They came down to 40. They got clapped, but they were on fire this morning. Again, China stocks were doing very good. We brought that up. If things are able to turn around here, or even then, as we are getting worse, it kind of increases the odds for overseas in China to do better, and I'm really liking it. I'm really liking the momentum and want to see on the short term if it could break out. So that was the only other play. We're riding everything else we got. Again, still in oil, still got the FedEx and a couple of other plays that we've been holding. We got to see where they go from here, but riding it out. The days have been a little bit slower here, but until we get data or anything for the next move, I'm sure we are going to be a little bit patient, but I do think the next move should provide us with a very solid step towards either oil, commodities, a real bottom, or even value in between XLU and XLV. So I hope you're ready, but that is your watch list, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure hydrate healthy, ready to go. Make sure post your watch list. Make sure we see you there in the morning. I need the armor on. I need the helmet shining. I need you to remember, baby, if it's on the job site, it's either going to get used or it's going to get removed. So what you got has a purpose, baby. Make sure you fulfill it, but Chad, I love you. Get ready. Thank you for another awesome Monday. I hope you're ready for a beautiful full week. And then we got the holiday, but Really, I hope you're learning with all this. I hope you're ready. It's almost July, and dude, you already made it this far in a year that we thought was just Mercury and Gatorade, huh? Let's go, baby! But I love you. I'll see you in the morning. Drink that water. Stay blessed. And you are a blessing, and you have a purpose, okay? Yeah, you do. I'm ending it with that. Amen. Amen. Good night. I love you.